Super Saiyan 4, the most requested transformation in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, and after 10 years, I am proud to say we never got this Awoken skill. What the actual hell, Bandai Namco dimps. I should start by saying hello everyone, it's me again, Dojo here, and I'm going to explain fully why we never got Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, and I won't talk about its potential in Xenoverse 3, because I think it's very obvious that we're going to get it in Xenoverse 3, but I do want to mention why we never got it in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, because there's a lot of reasons as to why it was never added when the game first came out, and even more reasons why it wasn't added after Daima SSJ 4 was put into the game. There were so many benefits they could have given Super Saiyan 4, especially because it never released as a launch day transformation. I do want to remind you that the big launch day transformation for Xenoverse 2 was Super Saiyan 3. Now, while I do think stuff like Giant Namekian and Golden Form for Frieza's is a bit more insane than Super Saiyan 3, you have to obviously admit that Super Saiyan 3's popularity is huge, especially because the transformation would give all the custom characters the big bushy hair and the new face model and this, like the different standing key charge aura effect. Remember that standing key charge aura effect? They kind of removed that from a lot of later DLC characters. If you check, characters like Full Power Jiren realistically should have that because it's Jiren at full power, but he doesn't. I'm pretty sure the last character they added that actually has the floating rock effect key charge was like Gogeta, and that's only because he's a copy and paste of DBZ Gogeta, so it probably just came preset with his character. That's not important though. What I wanted to mention is that Super Saiyan 4 never ended up being the launch day transformation, so it's like, okay, well, we could probably just wait for it to be a DLC transformation, because if it was a launch day transformation, it would have just been Super Saiyan 3's buffs, but even more ridiculous. A good example is that Super Saiyan 3 obviously increases your strike, ki blast, and basic attack by quite a bit. It does lower your stamina and your ki recovery, but it does give you a defense boost. The biggest defense boost in the game, actually, at least for basic attacks only, because Blue Evolved has the same defense boost when it comes to super attacks, but Super Saiyan 3 by far had the biggest for basic attacks, and Super Saiyan 4 would have probably just ended up being the tankiest transformation in the game. The only issue is that you would not be able to recharge ki or stamina probably at all, and it would have also had ridiculous stats when it comes to the damage types. Now, there's obviously a few problems with this, because with Dragon Ball, they try to make the transformations pretty lore accurate to the way they are in the show. So I don't think Super Saiyan 4 would have the nerf to like ki or stamina, because Super Saiyan 4 Goku controls a lot easier than he does with Super Saiyan 3. So it has to kind of always be different. The best way to probably design Super Saiyan 4 is probably the way they designed Beast, except without you taking bonus damage. It's instead probably you with a defense buff instead, because Super Saiyan 4 Goku does tank a lot of stuff, or just do a bunch of stupid things in general that makes him take a ton of damage. And he usually ends up being kind of fine. Like he gets blinded like by Ice Shenron, and then he can still fight Sin Shenron and Omega Shenron quite competently. So he's very, very strong, obviously. And that's probably the way they would have had to translate that form into gameplay. And don't get me started on if they actually did Super Full Power Saiyan 4. Yes, I know that sounds like I just mixed words together, but unironically that is regarded as a separate transformation from Super Saiyan 4. A Full Power Super Saiyan 4 is a different transformation than an actual Super Saiyan 4. That's the way Bandai does it, that's the way Toei does it, that's the way Xenoverse would have did it. So I'm not sure how they would have ever translated that if they adapted Super Full Power Saiyan 4, but that is very interesting. Regardless though, I want to talk less about the race stats and talk more so about why Super Saiyan 4 never actually ended up being added to custom characters in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Now with Super Saiyan 4, the reason why we don't have it for custom characters, despite the fact that obviously when Xenoverse 2 first came out, Super Saiyan 4 was already a fully established form by this date, is the canonicity of Super Saiyan 4. As you guys know, Super Saiyan 4 is from Dragon Ball GT, which isn't canon to Dragon Ball Z's lore, and it's definitely not canon to Dragon Ball Super's lore. And I do want to remind you specifically, Xenoverse 2 is a Dragon Ball Super game. And you're probably thinking, oh, well, it doesn't stop them from giving us Super Saiyan 4. You're right, it realistically shouldn't, but I'm going to raise one thing really quickly. If we had Super Saiyan 3 in Xenoverse 1, we would have got Super Saiyan 4 in Xenoverse 2. I feel like that's the way it would have went, because now they have to design a whole new model for custom characters for Super Saiyan 4, but they know in the back of their minds, we don't have to do that, we can just make their hair blue and sell them Super Saiyan Blue instead. And guess what? They'd buy that more anyways, because Super Saiyan Blue is the new trendy transformation right now in Dragon Ball Super. By the time we got Super Saiyan Blue, I'm pretty sure that's when Vegeta Blue was like, Vegeta Blue was long since animated. UI Goku and Jiren were just like showing their final forms and their full powers in the anime as well. Super Saiyan Blue was still hype at that point, because Goku's like second to last form technically, because black-haired UI and white-haired UI are basically just the same form, just in two different states. Now, the thing is, again, with GT, obviously, is that it kind of gets, I don't want to say GT gets treated poorly, but it doesn't really get the most reception, especially now that Daima's out, GT gets even less reception. But a good example is in Xenoverse 1, obviously, where they do the whole thing of, let's cover the Dragon Ball Z story with, you know, the Buu Saga, Cell Saga, Frieza Saga, etc. And obviously they cover a little bit of Battle of Gods because, you know, that movie came out. And then obviously it's the end of the game. And then GT's story is relegated exclusively to DLC, which is insane. I do want to remind you guys that Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta was pre-order for the game, so if you never pre-ordered Xenoverse 1, you could just never play Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, which is crazy. But if you got the DLCs, you could play Super Saiyan 4 Goku, you could play Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, you could play all the GT characters. But GT usually always gets this kind of backhanded treatment in every Dragon Ball game. Even back when GT was new or newer, even the classic Dragon Ball games like Budokai games, the Tenkaichi games, Infinite World, all of these games give GT like way less treatment than they do with OG Dragon Ball Z. And that's obviously because it's not that GT is, you know, necessarily bad, but it's just less popular than DBZ, so you concentrate far less resources into it, and that's another reason why it would suck for them to make a full model that would be customized to all the different customization options for CAX just to do a Super Saiyan 4 Awoken skill when the hair doesn't even spike up still to this day. Now, obviously, investing in Super Saiyan 4 seems like kind of the issue to them because, again, they have to do a whole bunch of work for something, and there's no guarantee that it would even make more money than doing another DBZ thing or another DBS thing. And we know since even the early days when Xenoverse 2 used to get DLC way more frequently, it still took a while for them to implement or add new things. Like, again, it took till DLC 6, Goku and Jiren for us to get Super Saiyan Blue. Like, that's kind of crazy. That's a very long time to get Super Saiyan Blue, a transformation that was literally just Super Saiyan but blue. And now you're thinking, okay, well, sure, it's fine. It would have cost a lot of effort and time to make a GT version of Super Saiyan 4. But now we have the Daima version of Super Saiyan 4, Steed. So what's the excuse? It's true. What's the excuse? This whole time, even I was like, oh, that means obviously we're going to get Super Saiyan 4 for custom characters because now Super Saiyan 4 is new and canonized. And the devs have no choice but to, like, they can't just ignore it anymore. They have to go, oh, that's the newest form, so we have to add it to the Saiyans. And if we give it to the Saiyan custom characters, they'll want to play the game more. And if they play the game more, that's good for the company. But in hindsight, something that we kind of just neglected is that they were making Xenoverse 3 in the background and they know that game needs the launch of a new Hype and Aura transformation. So it'd be really weird to blow their load on Super Saiyan 4 for Xenoverse 2 when they can easily have it be one of the bigger selling points of a new trailer in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. Again, the same way they could have added Super Saiyan 3 as a DLC Awoken skill for custom characters back in Xenoverse 1 instead of they did Potential Unleashed, which is something that's way easier to do since, again, it's not really any effects, just make the character power up, make them a bit shinier, give them white aura, and you're done. But with Xenoverse 3, obviously, they're like, no, we have to obviously save some transformations for Xenoverse 3. Hence why we probably didn't see Orange or Potential Unleashed for Namekians either, by the way. It'd make way more sense to give them that in the next game rather than giving them that in this game. With Beast, sure, Beast Gohan's going to be in the game. The whole DLC is based on Beast. We can give them Beast. That's no skin off our teeth. We're not going to save Beast for a goddamn gameplay reveal trailer because Super Saiyan 4, which again, they would have known Super Saiyan 4 was coming out because Toei, Bandai, they're all linked there. The Toei's like, hey, by the way, we're gonna reveal Super Saiyan 4 in the last 2 episodes, so make sure you guys get that ready for the games and stuff. And they'd been like, yeah, sure, okay. Like, they're all in cahoots, so they knew that Super Saiyan 4 was coming out. They knew that obviously Orange Piccolo was coming out. They knew Beast Gohan was coming out, and they chose like what should remain in Xenoverse 2 and what should be the new reveal transformations for Xenoverse 3. And I'm not gonna lie, obviously Super Saiyan 4 makes more sense as the new reveal transformation because 1, SJ4 Daima came out after Gohan Beast, so logically, yes, just save it for the next game. And 2, Namekians, as much as I would like them to have their unique forms in Xenoverse 2, they probably were like, no, we're doing universal race transformations now. No more race unique transformations, only universal transformations. First we're going to do Beast, then we're going to do Ultra Instinct. We don't save Ultra Instinct for the game's next trailer because it maybe would have lost steam by then or something, right? So they were just like, screw it, do Ultra Instinct and Beast now, and we'll save Super Saiyan 4 and Orange Piccolo and Black Frieza because all of that stuff was already real by then. We'll save all of that for the next game. Now, obviously, again, I still wish I had Super Saiyan 4 and Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 just so I could fly around and do SJ4 related stuff. But it's kind of like the case of Super Baby Vegeta 2, where we obviously wanted Super Baby Vegeta playable in Xenoverse at launch, because again, Super 17 and Omega Shenron were playable in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1, I think through DLC or just because they were just in the game. But either way, those characters are launch day characters in Xenoverse 2, and look at how they perform compared to how a character like Super Baby Vegeta performs. Baby coming out much later made him way better better than any other launch day character. Like, you can imagine how bland Baby would be if he released at the same time the game released. And that's kind of the same thing I'm hoping for with the other transformations and unique benefits that Xenoverse 3 would have over Xenoverse 2, because obviously Super Saiyan 4 coming out in the next game rather than in the current game would just mean that it has to be more polished, its mechanics would be more unique, and it would be a better form overall. The same with the Namekian forms, the same thing with whatever they do with the Frieza transformations and the Margin transformations, and yes, even you Earthlings, because you got stuck with just Power Pole and Nimbus, and that's kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie. Either way, I think that's a pretty solid place to end the video, lads. Again, if you guys enjoyed the video, then please leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe, it greatly supports the channel, and leave a comment down below as to what you'd like to see next. As much as I obviously want Super Saiyan 4 and Xenoverse 2, I'd much rather that Super Saiyan 4's legacy isn't tarnished by being put in a really old game that kind of doesn't work anymore. I'd much rather that it's an explosive, new, beautiful release in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. But you guys let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below again, and that'll be it. Again, I love you all, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time, gang. Take care, and peace. Bye-bye.